Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to another Hungry Hornet video. As you can see, it's the twilight hours. Well, not really, it's early evening. 20 past 9 to be accurate. And today's video is about riding at night. Yeah, I thought I'd make a riding at night video, like tips for any bikers out there that ride nights. Well, a lot of you might not know this, but oh look, we got another road ahead closed. A lot of you viewers might not know this, but some of you that have been sticking around with the channel might know that I am a night worker. So a lot of my riding happens when the sun sets. So I commute every day. At the minute I commute for around 14 to 16 miles a day at my current job. Some people might commute 60 miles a day through back lanes and all that sort of stuff. For my current job, my current route to work is quite simple. I can take two ways really to work. I can take faster A-class road, or I can take the sort of back road. Today we're taking not quite a back road, but it's definitely a more slower route. I like taking this one sometimes just to break it up, the monotony a little bit. Monotony? Is that the right word? Oh yeah, excuse me. Is that the right word? Monotony. So I'm used to riding in all conditions, all weathers, all times of the day. I've ridden this particular route I'm taking now for 4 years. 3 years at my current job, and then a year at the job before that. It's pretty much in the same village. I'm not a farmer or anything like that, but I work in an area nearby the town I live in. So I'm used to this route. I used to cycle this particular route on a bicycle. Yeah, I used to cycle it. I'd be doing 15 miles an hour at my max speed. So at 15 to 18, I remember when I first got my first motorcycle, on my CBT, it was a CBF 125, 2017 plate, I think it was, or 14, 214 plate, yeah, it was 214, 15, now I had analog dials on it and everything. I think, since 2015 they may have, it might have been even like older than that. I'll have to look back at some of my pictures. Anyway, so I've ridden nights, I've ridden mornings, I've ridden cold. My previous job I had, before this particular job I have now, I used to have to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to cycle in ready for 4:30. Well, 5 o'clock start. I used to like to get in early so I could have a smoke, as in a vape I guess, and a nice hot cup of coffee. Now it's usually the same with my current job. I like to get in a bit early, although I am a little bit late. I'm usually in an hour early at my current job, but I'm 23 minutes later than I usually am. Sometimes that happens. It's not late because technically I don't start till 10 PM. However, I do like to get a head start, especially in my job. I need to get stuff ready, get ahead of the game, so to speak. Yeah, so less about my work and more about riding at night. What's it like? Well, it's alright actually. It's not bad, is it? It's doable. There's less traffic at night. People don't take into account. They kind of seem to think that if you're riding a motorcycle at night it's more dangerous. I'd say probably the opposite. I'd say it's quite chilled out actually. The weather seems to be worse at night, so if you work nights you'll know this, but the weather seems to be tipping it down all the time usually. Either tipping it down or really, really bloody cold. So in the winter it can get a bit dicey, can't it? Like a bit icy out there, icy and dicey, and your butt hurts because it's cold and you can feel your literal legs shaking. That's why you dress up in warm gear. and you know, or have like you know, heated grips. I've never really settled for any heated grips on any of my bikes. I kind of like to raw dog it, baby, like, you know, like the trend of raw dogging flights these days. You don't take any entertainment, you just sit there and just stare off into the middle distance. That's basically what I do on a bike. I'm just hard, mate. What can I say? Hard. How hard are you? This hard. Look at me. 40 miles an hour. 40. That's just, you know, and you actually technically it's probably about 35 because the speedo's off. It's kind of why you see most of the time I'm about 43, 44 in a 40, just because that's actually 40 on the GPS. Same with on the motorway, about 75 and 70 for me. But yes, as you can see, nighttime you can see a lot more. I think you can. There's a lot more like lights. People can see you. People can pull out on you quite easily at night, I'd say, especially at a junction. They might not see you coming. But a lot of these modern Honda bikes, and I only really buy Hondas, you know, not because well, I suppose yeah, I'm a bit of a Honda fanboy. I'm literally wearing a Honda racing company jacket right now. So yeah, but riding at night has got its perils, but it's also quite good to get your practice in. If you're a bit more like sketchy on your bike and you feel a bit like, you know, pressured, I'd feel like, you know, you got to come out at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. You sort of got a bit of a free run to sort of do as you please, you know, like sort of take, you know, practice riding, you know, practice riding the roads, practice the area, you know, that forms a big part of obviously your test, you know, sort of figuring out how comfortable you're on a bike before everything becomes second nature and you're looking in all the right places, you're slowing down at all the right spots for like speed bumps, etc., and oncoming traffic, you know, it's all about practice. And I think nighttime riding allows for, you know, some good practice. I mean, I remember when I went to France, first time I believe this year. I've been twice, but I don't bang on about it every video, but if you know, in France. I don't know if you know this, I've been in France. I don't know if you've I've talked about it before, but anyway, you know, I went to France and, you know, I got off the shuttle at 8 o'clock in the evening and it was pitch dark and I was terrified. I was thinking, Jesus Christ, what sort of idiot. I think I picked it up on the video actually I shot. It's on the channel, go watch it. You know, I just said, like, what sort of idiot comes to France, arrives in a brand new country in the middle of the night, pretty much, you know, where it's pitch black. It wasn't middle of the night, but it was dark. So I went there in February. So I went there in February and then I went again in April. Don't know if I'm going there again this year, but we'll see. But yeah, so but because I'm so used to riding at night, I really enjoyed it. I mean, me and my wife, when we went in April, we did pretty much no night riding, which, you know, well, no, actually we did. No, because we went to Paris, didn't we? And it was night time. That was quite dark. That was. Oh, look at that! Busy as always. This intersection sucks. There's always some knobhead. You go. Good. All right. Thank you. I always let people go. Oh, I see why. They're following me. Anyway, so yeah, riding at night, you know, tend to be a little bit more cautious, I'd say, around bends, because you never know what's coming. But in the same light, no pun intended, you can see people's headlamps. You know, the headlights are visible. You know, it's all right. So people that have reservations about riding at night, I think, you know, it's a case of just getting used to things, getting used to the way, you know, it works. You know, things can be a bit more visually like not appealing, but visually easier to digest, so to speak, you know. That's what I believe anyway. I could be wrong. Let me know if you disagree wholeheartedly in the comment sections. What's there for? It's for a discussion, baby. So if you want to discuss whether or not you feel riding at night is dangerous or more dangerous, let me know. You know, I will agree to disagree with you all, or agree. Depends what, you know. It depends if your opinion matches mine. That's very important, you see. You know, I can't be wrong ever. It's not allowed. Yeah, so there you go. It's always the case. One red light for one car. So yeah, so as you can see, like nighttime, yeah, it's just less traffic, isn't it? It's less hassle, less I think there's less risk. There is a slight bit more risk for certain activities, you know, on night. You know, like I think riding on the motorway is a little bit sketchy on night, just generally because it's a bit tiring. You know, it's very monotonous. But I did that on this bike actually. Came back from Doncaster, started my journey off at about midnight, and then got back at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I was shattered. Yeah. So riding at night's got its benefits, it's got its negatives or drawbacks, cons if you like. But I'm used to it. Now, not everyone would enjoy riding at night. Some people may find it, you know, too scary. You know, yeah. Well, this is obviously isn't really nighttime because we're in the throes of summer, really, nearly in the throes of summer. So, you know, it's bright, you know, it's 9:30 and it's still light out here. So, you know, it's not bad. Summer's quite nice riding at night. However, you know, in the winter, 4 o'clock in the evening, it becomes pretty dark. But, you know, we'll have some winter videos coming up. Not very long for us Brits, I'm afraid. So, you know, but when it comes to riding at night, you got to be prepared for the unexpected. You got to be prepared for fatigue. Obviously, for me, it's a bit different. I work nights, so my body clock is kind of wired at the minute to be awake at this time. The ride home is usually a bit pants, you know, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it can be a bit tiring, but it is what it is. You get used to it. And then it comes to the weekend and I go out riding in the day and I'm absolutely shattered. So it's, you know, you just gotta know what your limits are, and I think riding at night can be quite good to teach you the sort of ropes at your own pace, you know, because as you see, we've not really encountered many hazards, have we? You know, for those of you that have done your theory test for your motorcycle or car will know that obviously hazards on the road quite often, you know, frequent. And if you go out at night, you don't really get many hazards on the road, apart from maybe not being able to see environment stuff and, you know, weather, maybe inclement weather. But as far as like people tend to be asleep. They tend to go out driving very often. I mean, I like a nighttime drive, so I don't actually drive, but if I had a car and go out, I'd love to go out on a night drive, just like, you know, nice gentle drive. So that's it, really. You know, just a little video about what's it like to ride at night. The only advice I'd really have is to keep your eyes peeled, try and stay awake. You know, visualize everything around you, take everything in. You know, obviously stick to your speed limits, which is obviously, you should always do that. But you know, just be prepared to slow down slightly at certain intersections, and try your best not to kill anyone, and then try your best not to get killed. That's my advice for riding at nights. If you've enjoyed this incredible video, please leave a like and subscribe and comment below. Thank you. Until next time, ta-ta.